I'm not sure. Hi, welcome to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream.
All right, highs today are going to be in the upper 80s, blue skies, which makes me very, very happy. We don't have those insidious rain showers, at least for the next little while.
Well, we got little chances, which is nice. But if you're watching in January, doesn't matter, does it?
All right, well, this is why today the timeliness is important, of course, and that is because of the royal wedding. And I swore I was not going to give into this. I swore it. I'm like, I'm not going to fall for that.
I got sucked
in. That's a British thing, and I'm happy for you.
Speaking of British
You and I were both on, like, CNN staring for, like, 18 hours straight. It was just pitiful.
I don't. See, I know I'm gay from the waist up, but it was, let's bring a British person in, shall we?
I know, Daisy's the expert.
Daisy, come and help us.
You're the smart one here. You know the thing that was kind of cool? They did not have any politicians as guests.
Oh, I know.
Da, da, da.
Oh, very
so like
nice.
I should be humming God Save the Queen or something. Here, girl.
Yes.
Sit on the pillows.
Sit on the pillows.
They didn't have any politicians there, which I thought was really interesting.
Which is great.
Yeah, right?
Why should they be there? So anyway, I got to say, just off the top, and then you guys can go crazy, I have never, ever been interested in this before. And I know that
I don't even remember getting excited about Prince William and Kate. It's like, all right.
Like the Oscars on the red carpet, I don't care. But I think what did it was there was two English commentators, and Anderson Cooper, who knew nothing about anything,
and Anderson, I'm very disappointed in you.
We are really disappointed.
Sweetheart, really?
But the commentators were, the people are getting out of a carriage, and they were like, is it pink? Is it green? Is it chartreuse? Yeah. Is it like? And they went, it's green, and they were so happy.
The Queen's outfit,
yes,
and her mom. They both wore.
And Anderson Cooper didn't know the phrase "flower girls," so he's like, "All those little kids that are going to be in the." And I'm like, "You're gay. What is wrong with you? You're speaking all these things." It's like, what? I was like, "What is wrong with you today?"
So, what was your feeling?
Yes.
About the whole thing.
Yeah, give us an overview.
Well, I personally, I think we feel the same about this. Her dress.
It was very simple.
Yes.
Some have called it plain.
Explain why.
People are split way. It's like Yanni and Laurel. Some people are, some people are just so overjoyed that she, which I agree with, very sophisticated. She let her shine, she shone rather than
her
the dress
exactly
shining.
And it was very, it wasn't flattering to her body, because we know she's like insanely adorable, but I think that was also done on purpose. When the Queen Mother said, well, let's go pick out a tiara, which I was like, I would like to do that.
Yeah.
I want the one from the most awesome queen ever. Who do you got? I mean, seriously.
She went in, she looked, and there was all these ornate ones and all this stuff. And she goes, I like the small one.
I love the tiara.
Yeah.
The dress, I just wanted to see a little bit more.
Maybe, you and I were the same. We're kind of like a little something, something.
Just a little something.
Although I did find out that on her veil, I cannot believe what a girl I am right now. I just found out on her veil. No, but she had flowers embroidered from all the Commonwealth countries, which I thought was really sweet.
Yes,
it was very inclusive.
And it was 8 miles long, which is really nice. Oh, by the way, the tiara she wore, the more minuscule, smaller, whatever, it was just worn by Queen Mary. That's it.
Queen of Scots, so I was excited about that.
Queen Mary, hello.
The dress was $300,000.
Oh my God!
It was Givenchy or Givenchy, however you want to say that.
Wow!
I just, I was looking at Princess Grace's dress before.
Yeah, right.
She's the queen of everything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Someone even sent me a photo of Jackie, Jackie Onassis, Jackie Kennedy's dress. I think because she went so understated with her makeup and hair. I just thought like maybe even the top half of the dress, some lace or some buttons.
How about her mom? Sitting there.
What was that about the mother sitting by herself? So she literally had nobody but her mother, family-wise.
I think she made that choice. I really do.
What don't you think? Wouldn't that have been protocol though for the Brits to have someone with her so that she didn't?
Well, I mean, here was an interesting thing that I read as well. People were freaking out because there was a seat. It wasn't next to her mom, but I think it was maybe next to Kate or William. There was an empty seat, and people were saying, "Oh, that was representative of Diana." So they left a seat free for Diana. Oh, sweet. And then people were like, no, all that was that the Queen was sitting behind and you wouldn't have put anyone in front of the Queen.
I wouldn't want to be in front of the Queen either. No. That's all right.
One of my favourite parts was when the preacher was
oh my gosh.
The Episcopalian bishop. Oh. And he was so cool.
And you could feel every British person like dying because he was showing emotion and like the Queen is like, I want to die right now.
And Prince Charles and her husband, Prince Philip, you could just see this just complete incomprehension. It was
so
awesome.
Baffled.
When he stepped away from the podium and he puts his elbow on it, kind of kicks his hip out. And he goes, you know what we're talking about here? I got to wrap up because we got to get you two married.
We got to get you two married.
That was the funny thing, though, because I mean, Eddie Izzard, our favorite British comedian, jokes about this all the time about it's very, very dry and there's a lot of Alleluia in the Church of England. But this Episcopalian bishop, if you didn't see it, he was unbelievably charismatic and he was joyful and he was waving.
And he used his hands as opposed to the English.
There was like emotion and personality and stuff. I mean, how did everybody? What was the take on that? Did everybody like it? Were they?
I think people liked it. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of people are just like. A lot of the royal weddings are so dry that I think the fact that it was just a bit, lots of Hollywood stars,
George Clooney and
let's talk about the celebrities.
Idris Elba, did he not look gorgeous?
Yeah, I mean a lot of people looked so great. There were a few fails, I think.
Serena Williams, who was the really truly terrible one?
You have to go in order.
Oh, okay. The Beckhams were there. David Beckham.
She was confused. She thought she was going to a funeral. Poor love.
Oh.
What was she wearing?
Very black.
Oh my God! Look at that. She does.
I mean, but here's the thing, Erin. If that had been a lovely hyacinth blue.
Yeah, she looks very grim.
I mean, lovely silhouette, but...
And I think for all the women, the waistcoat covers his butt. So that was inappropriate as well.
Really, I think there's some disappointing there. Elton John, he had the crazy round glasses on.
Oh,
he has kept very good hair. I don't know if it's his, but it does almost look like it. It's not.
Because in the 70s, he was loose.
Yeah, look, he's very sweet.
He's adorable.
He can do whatever he wants.
The thing that was sweet about that, because I know he sang at the reception, but he also, with the reason he was Princess Diana's favorite, and he sang Candle in the Wind at her funeral. Oh, I'm getting your clip. And he did it without crying, which no one thought he was going to do. So he was cool. Idris Elba, we just talked about him, but how gorgeous he is. I do hope he gets the new Bond.
Oh, yeah. He can do no wrong in my book.
I know. And I guess he was a DJ that night at the reception, too.
Yes. I'm not sure about his wife, but...
Their hats.
His fiancée.
The hats are just... Looks like the top of... Like a frosting expert.
Yeah. Everybody was supposed to wear hats. And then, of course, the Clooneys.
With yellow. Look at that.
I mean, could she be more perfect?
Yeah. And it's like if someone had said, hey, why don't you wear bright yellow? I think a lot of people tried to do the pastel thing.
Yeah, let's not be too loud. Let's not be too much.
Boom. She looked gorgeous.
Oh, my God. And he genuinely looks happy to me for, like, the first time. He always had that sort of ironic smile. Like, I know I'm attractive and this is all very entertaining. But he actually has, like, a dorky, happy face now, right?
Yeah, they look great.
Nice. And then, this is, of course, cool. Now, this is Serena... I don't know my own husband's writing.
I'm sorry.
Serena Williams.
Ooh.
The hat. Our thoughts? Our thoughts on the hat?
This is the same as Oprah for me. It was just like almost. She almost got there.
She almost made it.
Yeah? I'm not feeling the hat at all.
Except the fact that she could kick your butt.
That's true.
This is true.
She could turn me inside out. Except, of course, the only thing worse than that hat would be the lack thereof. Now, why is the hat a big issue at weddings? Because it was like on the invite, right?
Yeah.
The Kentucky Derby, right?
It was on the invitation. And here's what I just found out. Because, I was just telling you that Carey Mulligan didn't wear a hat. I just looked at an article. And it seems that from the article, I'm not totally sure about this, but she wore like a little weird thing on the back of her head.
Does that count?
I don't know.
Like a snood?
Like a little...
They used to call it a snood when it was a little lacy thing that covered the back of your head, like a bun would be under a snood.
And guess what else she did?
What?
Yes.
She wore a semi-sheer frock.
Okay, Kitten, this isn't your wedding, and it's not really your time to show off.
I don't know about that.
Wasn't the last... Who was the last wedding before this one? When they were all talking about her sister's tush.
Oh, that was Kate.
Kate.
See, Kate's dress for me was perfection.
She's so adorable. I'm sorry, but
because that dress, she had the buttons and the lace.
Yeah, it was nice.
I just wanted a bit more.
Welcome to Fashion Talk on the Todd and Erin
we
Daily
can't help
Stream.
it though. We got really excited.
I actually got into
people,
this.
18 million people in Britain watched the royal wedding. I don't
Yeah.
know what the numbers were here, but it was psycho, I know.
There was a lot of tweets about this crowd size comparing to the inauguration of Donald Trump. Just a joke. Just a joke. But for 2.5 miles, there were 100 deep on either side.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So what is
Just
it?
saying.
So what's the thing about the royal weddings? Because it's like the merchandising is what cracked me up. Because I remember when Princess Diana found out that Prince Charles didn't love her and she was basically marrying a guy because he needed someone to get married to him. And her sister said, "You can't back out now. Your face is on the tea towels." So what is it? What is it about the merchandising that's so crazy? Because the merchandising is like totally out of control in this, right? I mean, it's like the Avengers here in America for posters.
I think people just want, they think that they can sell it on eBay or whatever, so they'll buy the tea towel or whatever.
Right.
But I think so my theory about why so many people love this is that
and here too. I mean, we're all
yeah.
like, woo!
So
And I
number
think
one,
it's a bunch
she's
of
American.
new people are enjoying this as opposed to where mostly it was English.
Yeah.
Okay.
So explain, what is your theory?
She's American. She's divorced.
True.
She is half African American. So that in itself is groundbreaking. But I think definitely in England and probably here too, people love Harry because
He's terribly likable.
his mom died when he was 12.
Right.
He had to walk behind her coffin at her funeral.
Right.
And I think
Thanks for
people
making me verklempt.
sorry. I think people just, he's grown up and he's a bit of a rebel and he's done some really silly things.
Helicopter pilot. Don't forget
And then
that.
went
Let's
into
not
the
forget
army.
Prince Andrew. The
and-
second
Right.
son always kind of does stupid things.
Yeah.
But he seemed at least more okay. Go on though.
I think
He also went to Diane's garden and picked out forget-me-nots.
Yeah. I think he's just human. And people,
More
where
appealing.
William and Kate are kind of aspirational.
They're
They're
as perfect
very
as-
royal,
yeah.
And I think Harry, people just sort of like him because he's identifiable.
That's a good point. I was braced actually for more criticism about Meghan when this started. Number one, she wasn't British, and you're right. There's the other element. She was an actress.
So many
She
different
was
things.
divorcing, all
So
this.
many different
and
things.
I didn't really hear. I mean, the criticism from the British public the way I thought I would. Were they pretty cool with it all?
Yeah, there was some. But also he invited 2 of his exes. That was quite
No way.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Chelsea Davy. She
Oh,
was,
yeah, she was
in
long time.
Navy.
Yeah, she was long time
and
girlfriend.
Cressida Bonus, and she was in a kind of multicolored.
And he could have had their heads cut off.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
no,
I don't
he
know how-
invited
Or maybe he
them.
invited them, then had their heads.
I'm not
cut.
sure. How I would have
Has
felt
anybody
about
seen
you.
them?
Has anyone seen them since?
I'm not sure how I would have felt about you inviting exes to our wedding.
No,
Would you
I
have been
wouldn't.
thrilled with Jay?
No, I wouldn't have been into
No, I
that.
wouldn't.
Maybe
know.
Megan's like super confident. She's
Yeah.
like, he's mine.
Can you imagine? Because they're like the fun couple now. Can you imagine when they got delivered and they got placed and they got out of the carriage and everyone left and they went in, and when they shut those doors, the screaming that must have happened and the yelling and the woo, wow,
Oh, yeah.
and the champagne
Yeah.
because it's over.
And I bet the evening reception, it looks, from
looks
what I
really
read,
fun.
that sounded like it was pretty fun.
And they had fireworks, and it was awesome. The one thing that it's just gone out of my head, and it's driving me nuts now because I was dying to ask.
She made
you
a speech,
this.
which is interesting.
What did she
too.
say?
I think
Didn't
she.
hear this part. I
think she did the, I'm a woman and I'm a feminist type of thing, which she
Dang,
did in
girl.
another
That's
speech as
kind
well.
of
But
brave.
but no royal brides make speeches, so
Wow. And the thing that was really cool, though, they had the lip reader when he was.
Yeah.
And Todd always talks about this. You watch the guy.
You always
groom,
watch the groom.
as the bride comes down, and I guess he was bawling, and so his first words were, "I'm not crying," and she's like, "Sure, honey," and he's like, "You look amazing."
And you could see, couldn't you?
I
You could
know, oh my
see how
God.
much they love each other,
That was
right?
that was the best part to me. You're right.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this is like supposed to be this way. It's like they really did.
Yeah.
And there was also a moment where they showed up close shot of her mother.
Yeah.
And you have to imagine she's going, my daughter is marrying a prince. Because that's like a big deal.
And her mom looks super proud.
She did.
too, didn't
And she
she?
had a lot of dignity because it's,
All right.
it's hard to be on your word. So any
Oh my gosh.
last notes that we missed that were like a kind of a thing in the British press?
Oh, there was a thing. There was a thing, actually, that apparently when they were leaving the church, they're supposed to curtsy to the Queen.
Uh-oh.
Will and Kate did it.
Uh-oh.
They apparently didn't, but people are saying, we might have just missed it because the TV coverage was a bit spotty.
Maybe it was didn't one of
They're
those.
just like real excited. Or they're not thinking.
I don't think she would have done that on purpose.
No, I'm sure they kind of pushed their luck pretty much all the way through the ceremony.
That was cool.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
That was so
Favorite
cool.
outfit?
What did you think? Who was yours?
There was a couple. James Blunt's wife.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
James Blunt's the British singer. You're beautiful. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was a floral with a little Peter Pan collar, and then there's a lady. I was telling you, Todd. There's a lady called Kitty Spencer who I think must be a Diana.
She sounds like a
niece.
social. Yeah. She sounds like a socialite. Doesn't name like Kitty Spencer.
And she had a green, very kind of almost like bright forest green with a veil and
pretty.
a green. She was
that
perfection.
that is a really good point. Were any of Diana's family there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't hear anything about them, and it just hit me like, wait.
Yeah, and her sister actually gave there was one reading, and he chose her sister.
Okay, I
So
feel
that-
better then.
Yeah.
All right.
was so
There's
cool.
there's the update.
Thank you for all the
Todd's like, if I don't break him, this is gonna be
You lost me on
literally
the
like
you lost me on the last
hours.
2 dresses. Other than that, I was so in.
All the other girls are
100%.
totally digging this
Google
right
them,
now.
then you'll get back into
I
it.
shall. All right, Erin,
right.
what do we have coming up?
Next is Daisy. Of course, she must go and do news
All right.
now. Thank
You
you.
scoot.
Thank you, though, for the gossip. I was dying
That
to
was
hear what you
awesome.
thought. Seriously, I was like, I want to call her now. All right, Daisy, of course, brought to you by Fink & McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, all kinds of information about the new interest rates and what you need to do to make sure you qualify. Also, Brio Technologies, your experts in lighting, sound, and video. This is the time to bring your business into the new century with their cool media methods, and also the new Millennium Financial Group. Do you know anything about how to plan for your financial future? They don't really teach you this in school. This is the time to learn, and these are the people who ask you the right questions to help you get started. Go to utahsfinancialplanner.com. Daisy, my darling, what is going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news on Monday, May 21st on GetPartDaily.com. A 3-year-old girl is in critical condition after falling out of a second-level window Sunday night in Spanish Fork. Spanish Fork Police Department told Gephardt Daily the little girl was apparently leaning against the window screen when the screen fell out and she fell with it. The child suffered head trauma and was flown by AirMed to Primary Children's Hospital in Salt Lake City. According to a U.S. government blog, an estimated 3,300 children ages 5 and younger are treated for similar falls each year in the United States. Police in Sandy are looking for the man who walked up to a woman sitting in a parked car and punched her in the face through the driver's side window. It happened Saturday night near 3300 South Richard Street, 60 West, at about 9:40 p.m. The assailant went so far as to try and pull the woman through the open window before another occupant of the car pulled her back in. Police say the attacker and another man ran north on Richard Street but managed to escape. And police in Saratoga Springs are asking for the public's help locating an endangered man missing since May 10th. Family members say 50-year-old Carrie Reed Searle does not have his necessary medications and suffers from mental health issues. Searle may be driving a black 2016 Ford Focus. Anyone with information on Searle's whereabouts is asked to contact South Salt Lake Police. And time now for a look at your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's top audio-visual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and in Layton. We're off to a warm start again this week. Highs Monday will be in the low 80s with a chance of thunderstorms later in the day. We'll cool off just a tad Tuesday and Wednesday under partly cloudy skies with a chance of rain about 30%. Highs will be in the mid to upper 70s. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GetPartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. The other day, we were sitting around with our friends, and they are in a situation where they're retiring. And we thought, that is great. That's something we want to do. And then we all laughed.
Yeah, it's cute. It's
But
really funny.
there are people who
Yeah.
can help you out with
Yeah.
this. And if you've got a plan, the Millennium Financial Group can actually look over what you have, Figure out your 401k. Where should you put that? What about Medicaid, Social Security? All those different things that are coming into play. Once again, we all laughed. And then, these are the people who can put this in a package because you have all these separate things. How do you arrange them? Where do you go? What money do you take out? Or do you leave alone? They can take care of that. It's the Millennium Financial.
All right, you ready for Tell Me Something Good? Because I love
Not
this
if
one
it
so
makes
much.
me cry. Because
It's totally going to make you cry. I'm
people
sorry.
on Facebook are just like, why do you make Todd cry all the time? Why
I
do you always
can't
cry?
help it.
I
We all
cry
cry.
when I make toast. Okay? That's just the way I am.
All right, I think this is gorgeousness. Dakota asked his mom if one of his dad's friends would mind driving him to school on his first day back.
For what?
He lives in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Yeah. First day back.
First day back at school.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal. It had been a really bad time. His father had been killed in the line of duty. He was a police officer.
Oh.
And he'd been out of school for about 3 weeks while they were putting everything together and kind of getting themselves. And he knew that his mom had to work, and he says, I don't want to walk to school on my own. And she said, I completely understand that. So when he got dressed and he went out, and this is a 5-year-old, mind you.
Right.
Dakota's 5. Local law enforcement ended up with 70 police officers, SWAT members, and deputies, all standing outside of his house.
And they walked him to work.
And they walked him to school.
That's so
70.
funny.
And
How nice.
his aunt said he'll definitely know his dad's a hero. Blood doesn't always make family, and I think the Blue family went above and beyond. But the thing that's so essentially sweet about this is there's been someone who has walked him to school every day since then, and there's been an officer in uniform waiting to walk him home every day for the last 6 months.
Shut up. 6 months?
Now are you crying?
No, shut up. It's just dusty in here. Christopher's, we do this. And a lot of people say, well, why are you doing this? And I say, why are you talking like Bill Clinton? And then I say, well, we want to thank you. We want to send you and 3 of your friends.
Well, actually, today is rather special. Today,
no, it's not that.
Today we are doing Christopher's, but we are doing
my
Christopher's
gosh.
is catering a lunch for up to 20 people at your office.
You could become the hero of your office because they will bring you. Now, this goes
It's freaking delicious.
from Clearfield to Draper in that area because of the delivery service. 20 burgers or fries and all the delicious stuff.
There's steak kebabs and stuff.
There's steak kebabs.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll bring it to your office and set you up. And then when they say, who do we have to thank for this? And you go, Todd and Erin? No, Bob.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing
guy
about
won.
Christopher's. I didn't realize this. They can do a million different kinds
Catering.
of food, but their catering is to die for. Family reunions and parties and all kinds of amazing things. So this is a perfect time to try it out. As a matter of fact, I was talking to the general manager, and she's getting married, and of course,
Really?
guess who's catering it?
I would imagine her people.
Now, here's how you enter. This is different. If you're Get Part Daily or Get Part Approved page, that's fine. If you're on the Todd and Erin page, how you guys share. You don't even have to say anything. Just share the show today. I know your friends. So there's spite. That's one thing. And then number 2, it also automatically qualifies you to win the lunch for up to 20 at your office. Just share the show today.
There you
That's
go.
all you need to do.
All right, coming up, we have the Nasty Yearbook deal. And it's local.
This was weird.
It
Why
was
would you
really
do that?
weird. How did it get in the year? Well, we'll tell you coming up
Yeah.
next.
We're brought to you by Fink & McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. Just head to fink-mcgregor.com. Take 4 minutes to answer some questions, and you'll get a great idea about mortgages that you're eligible for. And by StayFit Wellness Clinic. Go get a personalized health analysis. This is the time to get back in shape, feel better, feel younger, and without a ton of new medications at stayfitwellnessclinic.com. And we're back. Welcome to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. Once again, highs in the upper 70s today, and mostly sunny skies. Now, end of year, all of the yearbooks, and people try clever things or wacky things, but there was one collage that showed up that was a really bad
It was
idea.
a shape of a heart, and they said you.
It was the shape of the head of their mascot of their rival high school.
What was that? What's that? Was it?
And the collage that created the shape of the mascot of their rival high school were words like scum, bad people, annoying, ghetto. You can see it right there. Lame, trash,
that's right.
satanic, average.
Oh my gosh!
So, yeah,
No wonder the parents are all in a roar.
Springfield's the Red Devil logo, and this is what they used to create it. And this is from Maple Mountain High School.
And that got in the yearbook.
Yeah. Amy McAllister's son is a senior at Maple, and he came home and showed that to us. Said, "Hey, Mom, look at this." Well, her older son actually attended Springville, so she's like been on both, and she's like, "I can't believe the administration would have let that one get through."
So some proofreading is important. I don't know if you knew that. Proofreading,
And
very
Mrs.
important.
says she had a really good point. She says, just the way this whole year has gone with shootings and bullying, to allow something like this in a community that's really intertwined is a terrible idea.
How was your yearbook?
I really liked mine.
How many people went to in your class in your year?
Highland, I can't remember. It was much less than you. I think we were like 500, and you were something.
Oh, that's
psycho.
a lot. That's a lot.
You had a really big school, though.
Yeah, I remember I was in the band and I played baritone and Pomp and Circumstance, the song.
Old school.
If you're fourth chair, this is what you do for 2.5 hours.
As everybody's walking up to get there.
That's it. You don't get to do the melody.
That's
you don't
it.
get to that flourishes. No. And so I just remember sitting there for so long. But in the yearbook, everyone tried to do the thing. You know, everyone tried to sneak in, giving them the finger.
Really?
Oh yeah. There were people. Oh, sorry. There are people doing it like this.
Yeah, you don't really have to
I know.
Emphasize.
What was wrong with me there? And then people, just would put it around somebody else and or then.
Oh, and these are like in the group photos and stuff, not the
Right,
formal
right.
seated ones.
And
Okay,
so,
I see.
what would happen is the people going through the photos, photo after photo after photo, they just let things go. It was crazy. The
That's so funny.
I always thought it was funny because you get everybody wants to sign your yearbook and you walk around with a pen and kind of go, "Don't you love me?" And then people always write in, "Never change." And it's like, yeah, because I always want to have acne and be lonely and be 5'2" and 190 pounds. Never change.
And look at you now, 6'2", handsome devil.
Stop it.
You really
Did you guys do anything like that? Or at graduation, when they were walking across football field, right? They were walking across the stage.
You know the most dramatic thing we did? We had John Huntsman Sr. speak at our graduation.
Right.
And we all loved John Huntsman Sr. because they always invited all the graduating classes up to their cabin, and they had a bowling alley in their cabin, and we all thought that was so cool. They got a bowling alley in the cabin.
What?
And it was like, that was like a thing. But so it was like having your dad there. I mean, my dad actually was there, but you know what I mean? But he was up
Right.
on stage handing your diploma, and it was like, it'd be like acting up in front of your dad. But I think the most daring
But he
thing any
wasn't
of us
yelling
did.
like your dad was.
Yeah, which
Right.
was a big plus.
Right.
The biggest thing we did is we all wore shorts and like our swimsuits underneath our gown because we were all going to take off our gowns and head down to Lake Powell.
Oh, okay.
So that was like our big daring thing, I guess. We wore shorts.
We had a guy do like somersaults.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, like, across the stage and stuff like that. One guy jumped off towards the crowd as
Little crowd
opposed to going
surfing.
down the stairs.
Little crowd surfing's good.
Yeah,
It's
it was
important.
good.
Yeah.
But then it was over and I got to go home and start a life. I was so glad to get out of
I'm not going to
school.
lie. I've always found people who said that high school was the best 4 years of their life.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Where have you been?
Yeah,
What has happened? What has happened to you that you wouldn't? But anyway.
How's that brain tumor going?
Oh, stop!
This is scary to me.
This is truly alarming to me.
This is scary, and I'm just going to put this question to you: How old do you need to be in the state of Utah to get married?
To legally get married. To be
Wait.
issued a marriage license.
Oh my gosh, that's just so sad. So what they're trying to do is raise it to 18.
Tell them where it's at now.
It is now legal age is 18 to prevent girls from being pressured into unions.
No, that's what they want to do. They're doing a big push for that. You can legally get married at the age of 15 with the permission of your parents here in Utah, and then 16 and 17-year-olds can get married without their parents' permission.
I want you to think about this.
15 years old.
You can't drive to 7-Eleven. You have to have your mom give you a ride.
But you can get married.
You have to have your mother give you a ride even though you're married. Now, when I came out here, and I'm going to say, and there's nothing wrong with this, I'm going to say this. Grew up on the East Coast. Don't hate me for saying that. I say that a lot, don't I?
Well, you
But
did.
anyway, it was different. It was different. And I came here, and there were people in college who were married and had babies. And I was like, what? Because it just wasn't heard of. I totally understand it, and I totally get it, and I have nothing against it. But I got to tell you.
But it was different.
When I came out, it was like, wait, what? You're doing what? And obviously, it works so well for so many people.
At least they're in their 20s. 15 seems... One of the reasons, though, that there's a couple of female legislators who are doing this big push now, though, is they're saying this is another one of the things that we can really crack down on polygamy for.
That's true.
Because so many of these girls are getting married when they're 13 and 14 and stuff, and it gives them one more thing to be able to nail down the leaders, the cult leaders for. So
I'm taking my... Mom, because you're living in the basement. Mom... I'm taking my wife down to McDonald's. We'll be riding our bikes.
15.
Do you have money for UTA? Because I'm going with my wife down to have dinner at McDonald's. 14. What were you doing when you were 14?
15.
50. It doesn't matter. It's the same age, basically. What were you doing? I was thinking girls were cool and then throwing dirt clods at other guys. That was it.
That's pretty much it, yeah. At that age, trying to picture that you're supposed to start thinking about paying rent and the possibility of children. Yeah,
never came across my mind.
Yeah. That was a little scary.
All
okay,
right.
Coming up next, the Avengers Infinity War has just crushed the box office globally. I mean, every possible record has been shattered. But they did get knocked off the top spot this weekend. We'll tell you by who coming up next. We're brought to you by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. If you're tired of feeling sick and tired, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Bowden for a new holistic health plan to make you feel better, lose weight, sleep well at stayfitwellnessclinic.com. And by Magic Wash with 2 locations in South Ogden and Layton. Come in for the ceramic car wash that keeps your car cleaner longer by sheeting all the dirt and the water off your nice shiny finish. We're back to Todd and Erin Daily Stream with the Hollywood Connection. It's brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Do not forget the $39 air conditioner tune-up special. You're thinking about it now, aren't you? Just go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com. This is so cool. Guess what? Okay, Avengers Infinity War. I wanted it to be #1 forever, but if it had to be knocked out of the first spot, guess by who?
I don't know.
Deadpool.
Oh my
Deadpool
gosh.
2.
Oh my gosh.
They opened to $125 million. That's pretty freaking good.
That's his cab driver.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's the best kickstart for an R-rated movie ever.
Now, I got to tell you, it is horrible if you are a person who doesn't like R-rated movies. This is the reason it's called R-rated movie.
It's a truly awful, terrible,
and it is horribly terrible.
Horrifying, terrible.
And it's hilarious. And I've seen some of the trailers. and it's one of those things where you just have to look at, and if you're into this, and I kind of am, and I look at it and I just go, oh my gosh. And it's just, he is just so funny, and it's so weird to see him in this role where it's an adult.
He's so ridiculously funny, though, that he really is perfect for it.
And he's being funny without facial, which is huge, because he's being funny with body movement
and snark.
And snarkiness and head turns and physicality. And no face. And you think about it, everybody else uses eyebrows and eyes and squinting and their face. And he is doing it totally neutral.
One of my favorite things, though, is that, of course, since this crosses over a bit with the X-Men, and the X-Men are all very noble. They're all beautiful people, and they're all fabulous, and they have interesting and creative talents. And they always send him, like, the total misfits, like the losers that can't really do things normally. And they're awesome, every single one of them. So it's such, I don't know, this is one of my favorite movies, because this is like the epitome of superhero imperfection. And all the most god-awful, awkward, dorky stuff. And it's so good when he does it.
So anyway, if you like those kind of movies, you're going to love it. If you don't go.
You've been
go.
Fairly warned, right?
All right, there you go.
All right, let's go to Day's Issues in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by New Millennium Financial Group. Look, if you're ready for the hard questions about what you want for the rest of your life, these are the people that know the right things to ask you to guide you into a plan that's going to make sense. Just go to utahsfinancialplanner.com. Also by the Stay Fit Wellness Group. Now, I'm so excited. We're going in this week, and I'm going to have them take a look at something I've been battling for a while with fibromyalgia. If you've got all kinds of like long-term chronic issues that have been making you miserable, These are the people that can fix it for you and without opioids. Just go to stayfitwellnessclinic.com. And also by Fink and McGregor, it's mortgages made simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. Boy, this is the time you've got to make sure you're pre-qualified and ready to go if you want to get a house in this market. Daisy, my dear, what is going on today?
Thank you, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making news in the US and around the world Monday, May 21st on getpartdaily.com. Donald Trump wants to know if the FBI spied on his presidential campaign. He demanded via Twitter Sunday that the Justice Department look into it. Trump's broadside came after it was reported that the FBI sent an informant to speak with Trump campaign aides about possible ties to Russia. Trump now wants to know if a spy was embedded in his campaign. The Justice Department says it will look into the matter. One man was killed and another injured after being attacked by a mountain lion while biking in Washington Saturday. The 32-year-old victim and his 31-year-old companion were riding in the Cascades east of Seattle when they encountered the mountain lion. At first, they were able to scare it off, but the cougar returned and attacked both men. The 31-year-old survivor escaped by fleeing on his bike. His friend, however, was killed by the big cat, which was later shot by rangers. It's only the second fatal cougar attack in Washington in the last 100 years. And as lava from Hawaii's Kalau volcano reaches the ocean, there's a brand new hazard. Laze, also known as lava haze, is rising into the air as the hot lava reacts to cold seawater. The dense plume of steam is sending streams of hydrochloric acid and fine glass shards into the atmosphere. Officials are warning people to stay away from the coast on the southeast part of the state's Big Island, where volcanic activity has been occurring since May 3rd. And time now for a look at the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's #1 audio-visual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the high-tech, long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and in Layton. More warm temperatures again this week. Monday, we're looking at a high in the low 80s with a chance of rain. Tuesday and Wednesday will be a wee bit cooler with highs in the 70s. Expect more in the way of rain both days before we start to dry out towards the weekend. That's all for now. For more news 24/7, check out GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, my dear Daisy. All right, this is kind of really cool. You know how they're always coming up with homeopathic remedies for things that sometimes work, and then sometimes, and you especially get irritable at this, where maybe it works for something and then all of a sudden it can cure cancer. Like coconut oil, you know, you can use coconut oil to whiten your teeth. That's
it
okay,
moisturizes. You can cook with it at low temperatures. You can moisturize with it. Some people take the frizz out of their hair by lightly touching it, and then they jump. It can cure cancer. It's not the way it works.
But this one is actually pretty interesting because this may not cure anything, but it prevents it. It could prevent it. Drinking baking soda. Now, it's really cool. What they're saying is it may reduce the destructive inflammation of autoimmune disease. I'll tell you about that in just 1 second. But first of all, it kind of fits in because Stay Fit Wellness Clinic this is what they're here for. They're run by a doctor who doesn't believe that everything has to be medicated to death. He would like to see if he could prevent things and make you feel better first.
When are you going
Wednesday.
in?
I'm really excited.
Okay,
so if you've got chronic illness or there's long-term fatigue issues or things like that, this is the stuff that they can help you with, and they can do it without opioids. It can change your life. So you can go to stayfitwellnessclinic.com to get more information.
All right, now tell me about this other thing.
All right, now the baking soda. Sorry, I got all excited.
Okay, baking soda we know you put in your refrigerator. It soaks up the stink. You can also use it for cleaning pots and pans.
This is true.
And stoves.
Now, Medical College of Georgia scientists reported in the Journal of Immunology that when rats or healthy people drink a solution of baking soda, which is basically sodium bicarbonate, it becomes a trigger for the stomach to make more acid that can digest the next meal. It also gets little studied mesothelial cells sitting on the spleen to tell the fist-sized organ that there's no need to mount a protective immune response. So basically, so when you're talking about all of the miseries that you have, like Crohn's disease and all of those different inflammatory illnesses.
This could be.
It's basically telling all the internal organs that are all confused and trying to rouse. No, it's all good. Everything's fine. And so it reduces the inflammation that causes all the misery.
Plus.
Isn't that cool?
Plus, you know, if you take and you drink that and then you down half a cup of vinegar, you can become a 6th grade science project making a volcano if you lay on your back. Because that's how you did it. Read food coloring too. Did you never do that?
You know, this
Baking soda and vinegar,
beautiful
right?
story that was going to save people immeasurable amounts of suffering.
It can.
And
Plus,
you turned it into a cheesy joke.
Plus, you're a party favor.
You're a very bad person.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure why.
All right, coming up, stalked by a pig.
Stalked by a pig.
Not even like the whole textbook definition of stalked by a pig.
A pig.
We can prove it.
All right, coming up next.
We're brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com for their $39 air conditioner tune-up special. Some care now could make the difference in hundreds of dollars of energy bills this summer. And by New Millennium Financial Group. Take your feeble financial health back to a more robust position with a consult with New Millennium Financial Group. They're offering a complimentary financial analysis to get you started at utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Todd and Erin Daily Stream. Airlines are getting such a bad deal for everything from charging for bags to dragging people off of planes. But this story is a little different than that.
Well, this is really interesting. Pilot Charlotte, she's actually a pilot for a major airliner, and she's young and she's pretty, and so maybe that confuses people. But you know how the pilots will stand there as you're coming and going and say, hey, thanks for flying, have a good day, blah, blah, blah. And she said it was a lovely day flying with a crew. And then she says, I thought it was strange these two men made these comments.
Like what?
I won't make any jokes about female drivers now that I know you're flying. And another guy said, wow, are you the pilot? If I'd known that, I wouldn't have gone on. And she goes, well, the fact is I can fly a $120 million jet and you can't.
Right.
And she said it was funny. She said, being used to this kind of humor, I always just laugh it off and say, enjoy your flight. Right. And she said, then I realized one of the crew members male crew members got ticked off on her behalf. And she went, yeah. And she goes, I didn't get where I am today by listening to these kind of comments, but I'm not offended. I'm disheartened because she said, it makes me wonder how many other women have been discouraged trying to go up into upper level management, positions.
Right, like especially early on in their career, and maybe they didn't have
Precisely.
the confidence that they would have later.
And she says, that's what makes me wonder why it's still okay to make these comments. One guy said on Twitter, my wife's a pilot, and every time she flies, she gets a well done, dear. And she says,
my God.
And she goes, none of the troops that she flew into Kandahar felt the need to patronize her.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
And I don't know, I simply love that. Another one, in a job interview last year, I was asked as a female, how do I deal with men on site? She goes, well, I've been a structural engineer for 10 years. I mean, it's just funny though, but it started a really interesting round of questions and comments about women in these male-dominated professions, and do you learn to just ignore the comments? Do you just smooth over them? What do you do?
Do you call the pilot who you're entrusting your life to little darling?
I don't want to joke with anyone who could possibly kill me with their work, so I like to be...
Do you ever say thank you? Do you ever say thank you to the pilots when you're getting off? Sometimes the pilots will come out.
Oh, I do.
And they'll stand with the flight attendants. See, I got that right.
Nice, thank you.
So I won't get beat up again. And you say, hey, thanks, guys. You all did a great job.
Do you do that? I think we usually thank
every
you,
time.
don't we?
Every time the captain's out, it's just like, it's like, good job, because we're here. And you
Everything
did it.
worked out super.
And look at all those knobs and buttons.
I thank them extra hard when we have a really, really, really bad turbulent flight.
Right.
Do you remember that one where we actually started seriously thinking, do we have enough life insurance? Did we
you actually, Erin froze up. You froze up.
No, that was my thing. I'm like, we don't have enough life insurance. I cannot believe we are both on this plane and I don't have enough life insurance. I was so mad.
Our friend was in...
and we landed just fine.
Yeah, and it was rough.
But we thanked him.
When there was a Delta flight that came in and it didn't have its front landing gear. It wasn't going out, and they flew around. They burned off fuel like they do, and our friend was on it, and everybody's getting like really, really nervous. And he came on. He said, "This is the situation." He said, "This," and he stopped, and then he came out, and he got on the mic, and he's looking at everybody. And at first, everybody's going, "Who's flying?" But then they realize there's a co-pilot. And he says, what's going to happen is we're going to go in. I'm going to hold the front up as long as I can. And then we're going to lay that nose down. And that bottom layer is made for doing exactly this.
I'm sorry, but that's so badass. I can't
Then
even stand it. And I'm sorry
I got
swore,
you.
but that's so cool.
Don't worry. We got this.
Wow. So there you go. Anyway, thank you for listening. Please do not forget to share the show today. We really would like to have you win that lunch for 20 catered by Christmas Brunch Steakhouse.
Absolutely.
So once again, all you have to do is share. Don't even bother to make a comment. Just share the show today. You're automatically entered. This is going to be a good day.
All right. Have a good Monday. We'll see you Tuesday right here on the Todd and Erin Daily Stream.
You kind of puked that one out.
I did.